I know we've discussed the laws of logic in the past, but in today's video, we're diving into the four main branches that help us understand the principles of sound reasoning. First up, formal logic. Formal logic is all about the form and structure of arguments. It doesn't care about the content of the statements, just the way they are arranged. Think of it as the grammar rules of reasoning. The two main types within formal logic are propositional logic and predicate logic. Propositional logic deals with simple statements and their connections using and, or not and if, then. Predicate logic, on the other hand, dives deeper, analyzing the internal structure of statements to include quantifiers like all or some. For example, in propositional logic, we might say, if it rains, the ground will be wet. We only care about the relationship between rain and wet ground, not the specifics of either. Next, we have informal logic. Unlike formal logic, informal logic is all about the content and context of arguments, focusing on the actual reasoning in everyday language. It helps us evaluate real-world arguments by looking at the evidence and how it's presented. This branch is essential for spotting fallacies, which are errors in reasoning that can make an argument invalid. Argumentation theory, a part of informal logic, studies how arguments are constructed and evaluated in natural language. For instance, if someone says, "You should trust me because I'm an expert," we use informal logic to assess if their expertise is relevant and if their reasoning holds up. Moving on to mathematical logic. This branch applies formal logical techniques to mathematics, ensuring that mathematical proofs and statements are sound. It includes set theory, which studies collections of objects, and model theory, which examines the relationships between formal languages and their interpretations. Proof theory looks at the nature of mathematical proofs, while recursion theory deals with computable functions and Turing machines. An example here would be using set theory to understand how different groups of numbers relate to each other, ensuring we're making accurate mathematical statements. Finally, we have symbolic logic. Symbolic logic uses symbols and variables to represent logical expressions, making it easier to work with complex arguments. It's closely related to formal logic and is used in various fields, including computer science and linguistics. Symbolic logic helps us to formalize logical statements and reason about their validity in a precise way. For example, we might use symbolic logic to represent and solve logical puzzles, or to design circuits in computer engineering. There are way more than 4 branches of logic, but I wanted to see if you guys would like this video before putting out another video exploring some of the other branches. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and most importantly, drop a comment on if this video taught you something new.